Hi, hello creatives, welcome back or to my channel. My name is Lindsay and today we are diving into my 2023 reading journal setup. I'm using some leftover supplies from my 2023 setup. So these three dual brush pens, which are new, my metallic jelly roll, as well as this metallic pen from Amazon, my uni pen fine liners, a Papermate fine liner, my Furunosuke Tombow hard tip brush pen, some scrapbook paper, random papers, the phrase stickers that are left over from my 2023 bullet journal setup, as well as some random stickers. These sticker sheets are also left over, and so are all these Pinterest photos are also still left over from my 2023 setup. So I tend to have a bunch of pictures left over from my setups, and a lot of the time I use them for weekly pages within like monthly setups. But because my 2023 setup, I guess I could still, because I put my 2023 bullet journal setup in a different journal as yearly collections, I can leave that linked above if you missed it. But that video, I guess I could still add spreads to that using these photos, but I printed off so many pictures, so I decided to use the same photos or missing or leftover photos for this setup as well. So I also want to thank all the new folks that are here and my new friends that have joined the channel and are here to see my creative journaling journey. Wow. Creative journaling journey, doing all of the things, and I really hope to get some lots of content out to you guys for January and February, but no promises. But I will have my vision board setup and process video up really soon as well. I just need to finish editing it, and then I will post it up as soon as it's completed. I know normally I do one video a week. I could try and throw out an extra couple, but we'll see. So I'm working on my cover page for my 2023 reading journal, and this is the first time I'm showing you my reading journal. I do have 2022 pages in this journal as well, as you saw when I flipped open to this page here. I'm a slow reader, and I have a 9-to-5 job. I have, this YouTube channel as a hobby, so I do a lot of like collage art and, different types of memory keeping and stuff. I also have a husband, a 2-year-old child, a house, all of these things that take up a bunch of time, but I really like to make sure that we make time for our hobbies. My husband also has some hobbies, which works out pretty great that, while we're working on our own hobbies, we're still kind of spending time together, just kind of apart. But so I'm a slow reader, and I'm not able to get out, or be able to read, tons and tons of books in a year. Also, sorry, I failed to show you those washi tapes that I will also be using. Yes, I did choose a lot, because if you've seen my previous videos, I have indicated a couple of times that I am a maximalist. And as you can tell from this setup and even my, future pages, I am most definitely a maximalist. I love all of the stickers, all the washi tape, scrap paper. I love collaging, and I guess I do the same type of collaging that I would do with magazines that I also do with stuff that I've printed out and just my supplies. I also am really trying to focus on 2023 to use my current supplies, because I have so many. So this is why most of these pages are going to be packed with a bunch of stickers and washi tape. I wasn't able to really get a lot of the photos, the like cozy cabin photos in my pages, because a lot of them, from what the spreads are, take up a lot of room. But anyways, yes. So most of these spreads, or I would say all of these spreads, are slow reader friendly, that are not quite able to get, even like 25, 50, 100, 150 books in a year. That's just not quite realistic. I did, for 2022, my Goodreads goal was 6 books, and I did exceed that. And I actually read 17 books in 2022, which is absolutely amazing, considering the last time I read books was 2020 and I read 2. And then before then, I really don't remember reading a whole lot of any books. So I'm a very new reader and a slow one, I'm not able to spend all of my time reading. So I'm only able to kind of read for, a couple hours here and there. So this is my cover page. Again, super maximalist, but I love it. I love the collage. I love, I think I'm like really in love with the green color. And that's why I really didn't want to choose to do a different theme for my reading journal than I did for my 2023 setup. So that's why I continued to use those photos. But I did use a lot of different pens and stuff for this setup that I didn't really use in my bullet journal. But anyways, so moving on to my rating guide, I've seen a lot of people put this on TikTok, and I got a couple of inspiration from Pinterest as well. And this is my kind of rating, guide of what I want to rate the book and to kind of, figure out how I'm feeling. What I also want to say to keep in mind is that when you're reading, I'm a mood reader. So if I'm in the mood for a cutesy, fluffy romance book, I'm not going to really love a book that I pick up that is like super in-depth and heavy. And even though it's still romance, but there's a little bit more heavy factors. For an example, I read Reminders of Him, and if I was in a fluffy romance mood, I might not have given that the best of ratings because that wasn't quite what I was anticipating or wanted, and it might not just jive with me. But I read it and I really loved that book. But anyway, so this is just kind of what I want to use to guide myself so that I'm more consistent, because I don't think I'm quite consistent with rating my books, and I think that's just because I'm new. So I have, this is my guide. Loved it for a 5-star. Really liked it for a 4-star, liked it for a 3-star, meh, take it or leave it kind of for 2-star, and then 1-star is just you. I don't want to give, I guess I'm more of a generous star. I don't know what other people rate stars. This is why you can't always expect, someone's 3-star could be a meh and they didn't really like it, but they still give a 3-star. I don't know what other people's guides are. So I just want to say also that it's very important that if you know the types of books you read and, if you have familiar interests with certain people, it's still, everything is all opinions. You don't have to feel bad for liking a book that's not as popular as others, or, not liking a really popular book. It happens. We're all our own people and we all have our own opinions. So moving on to my reading goal that I'm almost completed with, but I'm just doing a couple of squares and then I'm doing some bonus squares. This is actually what I did for my 2022 setup as well, that I actually did mid-year. I did it in April or May. So my goal for 2023 is 20 books, almost 2 books a month, but we'll see, considering I read 17 from April to December. Hopefully, maybe we can, reach 20 by adding in those 3 extra months, but we'll see. And then I also have the bonus of if I do go over and read, about 2 books a month, then I do have the bonus of 24 books for the year. So I also want to mention too that I'm not always consistent with my titles. I don't know how to stay consistent. I'm not very educated, I guess, on different fonts and making sure that I maintain the same look. So that's not super important to me throughout this setup. It doesn't all need to look the same. Each spread doesn't have to kind of reflect others. I think that's why I don't draw in my journals. I use washi tape and the same kind of colors and photos that make it look all cohesive without me having to write a title or a font or anything in the same manner. You can kind of tell that they all go together. So I'm working on right now my 2023 anticipated releases that are just books, obviously, that are coming out this year that I want to kind of read. Again, because I'm not able to read tons and tons of books in the year, this is still stuff that I could, that tickle my fancy now, that I could potentially go look back at in a year from now to see out what came out in 2023 that I missed and didn't read. And then I can kind of go back and try and see if I can pick those up. So it's just nice to know which books came out in that year and which books I was able to kind of be current with and read the books at the same time that they come out with. There's a few books. I'm pretty sure it's called Happy Place by Emily Henry. I'm a big Emily Henry fan. Book Lovers was such a good book. So I'm definitely really anticipating that one that's coming out. So yeah, there's a couple that I'm really looking forward to, or even ones that I'll see on Book Talk that I kind of want to write down. And that's kind of leading into the page that I'm almost completed now, which is my recommendations. So I have friends and then TikTok. So again, everyone kind of, you see all these videos about TikTok of, was it worth the hype? Was it worth the hype? And again, ultimately find somebody that likes or rates the books very similar to what, you like in the books that you read, and, just continue to follow their opinion, because someone that's a fantasy reader is not going to love light and fluffy books. And that's totally fine, because that's just not what they're into, and that's fine. And then again, my recommendations from friends. So moving into my yearly stats that I very quickly just finished all these lines with the snap of my finger, because this video took me about an hour and a half of actual footage, but I believe it took me about 2.5 hours, because there are a lot of pages in here. I think there's 8 spreads total. So here's my yearly spreads. This one actually came together really quickly because I just kind of threw some stickers and stuff on the page, because I don't have a whole lot of room for those big photos and stuff. So, books read, how many of those books that I owned, how many did I borrow, how many pages did I read, how many physical, ebook, or audiobooks, and then what did I rate them? How many books that were 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 stars. So that's all. And then I just kind of have to, if I rate any of them like 4.5 stars or 3.5 stars, I want to try to avoid that, but it could happen. So I might just put a half. So that it'll be, if it's 4.5 stars, it'll be half 4, half 5. I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. So a spread that I did for 2022 that I really enjoyed doing is my days read. And it's just something that I'd like to see, what months do I really read a lot? I think in July, I actually read I want to say 6 or 7 books. 6 books. 6 books I read in July. But I 2 of those were ebooks, and 3 of them were physical, and 1 was borrowed. So yeah, that was really fun. So again, it's just something very curious that I want to see. What months do I read the most? And you saw that I pulled my phone out there to find out which months have 30 or 31 days. Obviously, we all know that February has only 28 days. But yeah, I just wanted to confirm. I know the knuckle trick, but just wanted to confirm because I really didn't want to screw up, the red or the black marker. Anyways, moving on to my BookSpot. Oh, no, I already did BookSpot. Wow, that's funny. So BookSpot, I did do a BookSpot spread last year, but I didn't fill it out because literally every single book that I own right now, which is kind of the spread that I'm working on right now, every single book I bought in 2022. I owned 0 books before April, and now I'm really close to 100 books. I do purchase a lot on book outlets, so they're cheaper, and I have gone a couple of times to a local thrift shop to pick up some as well. So these 2 spreads are not what a lot of people can do if they have hundreds and hundreds of books that they haven't read yet. So what I wanted to do is what I'm working on now is my physical TBR. So physical books that I currently have that stick out to me that I kind of want to read sooner rather than later. Obviously, I don't have to stick to this because if there's books that, but it's kind of like a mood board of what I'm feeling as of right now to read for the year. So I haven't quite decided those just yet, but I will post photos on my Instagram. So if you want to give my Instagram a follow, you can see these spreads kind of, filled out a little bit more. And then my physical library, these are going to be every single book that I have currently, and to kind of mark them off as I read my physical books. I do not have room to add more books to this, which I'm totally okay with because it's really just where I'm at now and how many books have I read in 2023 of ones that I physically own. We'll see if this works, if I like this, because I never did a spread that looks like those bookshelves of the books that I read. Here's, I'm starting to work on my books read spread now, and this one is literally just the covers. And I noticed that I didn't leave enough room underneath them to put the stars, so I'll have to put them kind of off to the side, which is totally fine. I'm okay with that. But so this is the only spot that I have books read. Again, because I'm not reading hundreds of books in a year, I could simply do one spread to cover all the books, because I think I gave, how many? I think I gave the 24. Yeah, I gave the 24. So if I read more than 24, fantastic, but then I have to kind of do a tip in and add more, which is totally fine. Again, it just shows that, I went above and beyond my expectations, which is great. So yeah, this is my books read spread, and I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this year takes me in the books that I currently have and the books that I read, and we'll see kind of how far I get. I didn't really want to do the outlining of everything, but I actually measured the size that I use. I think I use 2 centimeters by 3 centimeters when I print out the book covers, and I feel like these corners are just on the inside, so you won't see them, which is kind of what I wanted, because I used a green metallic pen, and it's not really going to go with every book. And then moving on to my next spread, which is my book of the year. I have always wanted to do a spread like this, but again, in this previous year, in 2022, I didn't necessarily read a book every month, but that's okay. And even if you only read one book that month and it was a 2-star and you didn't love it, but it's going to go against a book that you liked even more. So you're still going to get, ultimately that one book that you really loved throughout the year, or, the one that sticks out for the year. So I really wanted to do a spread like this, and I'm just trying to say that you do not need to read hundreds of books to do a book of the year spread. Because again, even if you read 12 books, one book every single month, it's still, okay, well, out of those ones, when they go next to each other, which one's your favorite? No big deal. You just have less to choose from, which ultimately, to get your book of the year, it's just going to take you a lot less time, or us, a lot less time than somebody who read 150, 200 books in a year, because they have to choose between 200 books. That's wild. I don't know. That just seems very overwhelming to me. So, to only have to decide between 24 books of my book of the year, yeah, I'm really okay with that. I haven't even done this for 2022, because again, 2022 was my feeler out year, and to kind of, where I'm at, what I like, what I don't like, and just try to, fall in love with the hobby rather than, the journaling part is also a hobby. So, don't get me wrong, but again, I didn't want to put pressure on having to read so many books to physically journal about them. I didn't want to put that pressure, because I'm no professional. I have no idea what I'm even talking about. I'm still trying to figure out which books I like, or which book I like, which type of books I like, and what kind of style of writing I like. I know I'm not the biggest fan of third person stories told in the third person, where it's always she said this. I want first person. I think that's what it's called. I want first person perspective. But I have read a couple that are third person. Again, I think I'm using the right terminology, but I have no idea. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying. And hopefully I'm able to find more and more of my style of what I like and don't like. And so this is my last spread for this setup, which, thank you so much if you're still here with me. But this one is a very similar spreads to what I do in my bullet journals. And fun fact, I went through 3 washi tapes during this setup. Thank God I chose 6 different washi tape rolls, because I literally went through 3 of them. I used them all up and they were gone. So I thought that was kind of funny, because I don't think I've ever done that before. So just kudos to me to using my stash. So this last spread is actually all of my 5-star reads, and I don't need a double page to do this because I don't read a lot. I know I sound like a broken record, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm just trying to, put it in your brains that you do not need to read so many books to do a journal about it. But anyways, so these are my 5-star reads and then some honorable mentions. So anything that, you know, is kind of like a high 4, 4.5, something that I was just, you know, I was in the mood for a light fluffy, but really it was only a 4 or 3-star book, but I still want to mention it because it was just, I don't know, honorable mentions. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's right in the title. So yeah, these are all of my spreads that I did for this year. Let me know in the comment section which one's your favorite. I will link all of my supplies that I use in the description box below. So if you want any of the supplies that I use, it'll be there, and I appreciate it if you use my links. Really appreciate it. And I'm just finally going back through them and you know, putting in these phrase stickers, because fun fact, I did forget to do this in my bullet journal setups, and then I had to go back and do them as well. But I really like how the phrase sticker works. So I feel like I want to create my own, because I'm going to use them almost in every spread. So, or, you know, every kind of setup. So yeah, because I just love them so much. So I want to see if I can figure out how to make them myself. And what I failed to mention as well, the notebook that I'm using is literally just a notebook from Costco. I bought the 6-pack, and I refuse to let any notebook go to waste. So, I mean, I know I have a couple Archer and Olive notebooks as well, but they're a little bit more on the pricey side. So which is fine, but I have a bunch of notebooks that are a little bit cheaper, and I just don't want to not use them because I like other pages better. Because I'm not the biggest fan of the cream color, but you know, that's okay. That's okay. So anyways, as you see, I'm doing the final flip through for you. So I want to thank you so much if you made it this far. I hope you like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of the things. It means so much to me. And again, welcome aboard if you're new, and I'll see you very soon in my next one. Bye.